You're tuned into In My Humble Opinion, and we are speaking to the very candid Susan Bro. She is the mother of Heather Heyer, the young lady that lost her life last year here in Charlottesville during the Unite the Right rally. Razor has another question for you.
This one is going to step on some people's toes. I want you to understand that while you apologize, there's people of African American lineage that are using your daughter's death to keep the movement going, to bring light to it. And I don't think that's exactly right neither, because if she's being used on one hand, she's being used on another. Charles alluded to it earlier. Some people are doing it for political reasons. Some people are doing it just to make sure that the light stays on. And I can't say that that's the proper way to do it too. So I would like to apologize for you having to go through that, because not everybody that throws their arm around you is your friend.
I know that. I'm aware. Sometimes I allow it because I feel like I can do a greater good from that. I feel like once we get through Sunday, my feeling is, okay, now let's get to work.
Right.
We've had this big to do. Reporters have come from all over the world. So now let's start talking to one another. Let's start finding ways to get through this. And people say, how soon do you think Charlottesville will heal? Well, I hope not too fast, frankly. Because if we heal too fast, then nothing is accomplished. We've put in spackle over black mold. I don't mean it because it's black, but at my house, we have a problem with black mold, and we keep tearing out the wall to fix it again. And, you know, if you just rush to patch it up, you don't fix anything, and we'll be right back here in no time.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that you just said was, as far as, you know, after this weekend is over, you know, where do we go from there? So, and you also said to be blunt with you. So I have sort of a two-part question for you.
Sure.
Do you feel that the opposition to the alt-right or Unite the Right, whatever they want to call themselves, do you feel like that's necessary and the right way to go about it? Another way to put that, if you could have talked to Heather beforehand, do you feel like that you would have swayed her decision and even being out there?
No, okay. I support her being out there.
Okay.
From my work with Christian Picciolini, who we actually have his documentary coming out on Sunday night, and I'm in a lot of it.
Okay.
I have learned that Nazis crave silence or violence. So the middle ground, which is where I'm most comfortable anyway, because I think reality really is middle ground. Middle ground is where you're going to fix that. And I'm not here to judge or comment on other people's actions. I know a lot of people don't like my actions. They're like, if you support us, get out of the way and hand us the microphone. And I said, if you do that, then they stop coming. I still have things to say. I'm trying to reach a particular demographic. I live in a single wide trailer, and my grandparents were coal miners and farmers. I was not brought up prejudiced. Just because you're that kind of person with that kind of background doesn't mean your family has to be a certain way. And even if your family was that way, you don't have to choose to be that way. You can think for yourself. So I still have people to reach. I'm not going to be quiet, but I'm not going to say what they're doing is right or wrong. All I know is people have talked civilly for centuries, and they're constantly ignored.
Yeah, and I notice you don't want to judge what anyone else is doing, but I have to ask your opinion though on when you look at the response that is happening this year, you know, with law enforcement, things like that. Does that strike you one way or the other? Do you feel like that's necessary?
I've already said this on camera. I feel like we're having a police state as an overreaction from last year. Somewhere in the middle would be nice. The fact that you can walk on the downtown mall with an open carry gun, but you can't walk on the downtown mall with a taser or an umbrella or a cane to walk with. Yeah, there's some things that need to be changed there, because some of those are legal too. They're saying you can do the open carry gun because it's legal. Well, I know a cane is legal. I know that a taser can be legal. A stun gun can be legal. So, yeah, there's still work to do.
My husband and myself own a business that's actually located on the downtown mall, and we encountered a gentleman today who wanted to talk about, the whole atmosphere of what's happening in Charlottesville right now. And he said, and that Susan Bro, she's something, isn't she?
Yeah, but what?
And I didn't know, I haven't followed you much, so I had no idea what he was talking about until you came in today and started and said, you say what's on your mind, and you call a spade, and that's what he was referring to. I get it now.
It needs to be said. Your husband had heard that. He was grinning when he saw who I was.
Yeah, she's something. And then he was waiting for, us to agree with him, which never came. But I'm curious whether or not you feel any, because some white people do you feel any guilt, for the actions, mindset of your white counterparts?
I feel guilt for the white systems that have oppressed. I feel guilt and frustration for things like redlining and loans not being given to people, and the educational differences. And I can tell you, as teachers, I was a public school teacher for 18 years. I made a lot of mistakes because there are cultural differences and misunderstandings that happen. And we need to address those in our education system. We need more black teachers. We hear that from kids all the time. We need more black literature. We need to stop I heard it very well put the other day, and I liked it. I'm going to copy it. And I believe, again, it was Dr. Jelaine Schmidt who said, and I'm not positive it was her. I don't remember who said it, but we need to stop acting as if white were the standard normal, and that everything should measure up to that.
Is this something that you feel like awoke us this past year? In other words, do you feel like that maybe what happened last year, maybe Heather being a martyr in her own rights, had to happen for this conversation even?
Yeah, that's been the bitter part. I've looked at it 9 ways to Sunday, saying, why my kid, why my kid, why my kid? Unfortunately, she was in a unique position of being single and no children, not in a particularly, tight. She wasn't married. And she had a mother who has a mouth and just gets mad enough to speak up. Got me in trouble a lot of my life. Probably getting me in trouble now.
Now you fine.
With you all. Not with everybody. Some of my family has unfriended me. And
I was going to ask you about that.
What is your baby's name? Like, everybody has attached themselves to Heather, but what is her middle name? What is her whole name?
Heather Danielle Heyer.
Okay.
And now, what about for you personally? Was some of those people who disagree with you to the point of separation, was last year an awakening for you personally, or you already had the mindset before those events?
No, it was developing. Heather and I had talked at length. I have some other friends who are black who had been talking to me, and I had been talking to them, and we had started having difficult conversations a couple years ago, in fact. I had a really hard time understanding white privilege. Took a lot of thought process to get that. So one of the reasons I'm in this is I am a teacher by nature and a maker by nature. I'm always creating something. And I think that those talents can be used to get the word out to other people. I can take in the information, process it in my own brain, and put it out in a way that hopefully other people will get. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Do people ever say that you are using the death of your daughter for your own personal gain,
Constantly.
personal spotlight? What's your reaction to it?
I'm 61. What am I going to do? Go work at Walmart? Because nobody's going to hire me right now. So I am starting to I've hired on with some speakers bureaus to make money, and it's not that I'm trying to capitalize off the death of my daughter. It's that I have to, and if I'm going to be able to talk to people and try to make a difference, I still have to pay my bills. I still have to buy groceries. I still have to put gas in my car. So I'm not looking to get rich. I'm just looking to make a living so that I can do what I do. The same way that you pay someone to babysit. I heard someone use this analogy. And, you know, they love the kids and they would rather just keep the kids for free. Excuse me. But the truth is they need to be able to pay their bills. They need to be able to put groceries in the refrigerator. And
And me personally, I say don't even give those small-minded people, benefit of the doubt or, your attention, because for one, it's your daughter, right? Number one, and definitely number two, your message needs to be heard. There's so many reasons why this, has a deeper meaning than just the carnal. It's something more spiritual. It's deeper. There's a reason that everything happens. So what's the opposite side though? If there's a reason everything happens, if you're just quiet and say nothing, then I'm sure there's a lot of people who will say something about that, right? So.
Well, yeah, and I mean, my daughter's dead. Nothing's going to change that. So I may as well use that for a good purpose.
Exactly.
But let me make it perfectly clear: neither Alfred Wilson nor I make money from the foundation. That money is in the foundation. Technically, on paper, we could each draw a salary of $10,000 a year, but we're not going to do that until we've got a lot more money built up. That money all goes to building an endowment for scholarships and for youth empowerment programs.
Awesome.
People say, she gets rich. She gets rich. She's making millions for her TV appearances and all this. I don't get paid for those.
Right.
I might get a stipend to cover meals that we buy or whatever, but I still live in the same single wide trailer I've lived in for the last 20 some years. I'm still, if you look at pictures from 2016 or something, occasionally I'll pop up with a new shirt. But I mean, I'm wearing the same clothes I wore 4 and 5 years ago.
Miss Susan.
Yes, dear.
If you can't figure out what to tell them, there's a comedian called Bernie Mac. And I can't say, like FCC rules won't let me say, but if you give them my number and tell me that they texting and calling, I give it to them for you.
One of the things I'm trying to do is I'm writing kids' books with another author, another writer. And so part of that was we went looking for free material on how to do word count for 4-year-olds or whatever, And so one of them was an article about how to handle criticism, and I thought, boy, I need that one. And part of it talks about understand not everybody's going to get it. You put out there what you've got, you do your best, you edit it, you correct it, you keep it honed, but you understand that not everybody's going to get it. And so you focus on those who do get it. For the ones that don't get it, you listen. See what you might learn from what they have to say, which is what I tend to do anyway. I take criticism and I listen to it and think about it, process it, see what I can use, and then throw away the rest. Just walk away from what's no good.
There you go. IMHO family, we are speaking to Sister Susan Bro.